Okay, so we are live, another episode of Talk Soup with my co-host Kitty, and coming up is our breakdown reaction to episode 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall of WandaVision. All right, I'm really trying to get in a habit of pressing that button because there were a couple episodes I forgot to use that intro that I actually paid money for. So, all right, so Kitty, how you doing tonight or
Good.
today? Tonight,
I'm fine.
today.
Yeah. Good. How are you?
I missed you on the last stream.
hmm
So welcome back. Obviously, we're going to go over episode 7. So off the just really quick before we go into the whole episode in general, what did you think of this episode? Was this
I,
another one of your favorites?
I don't think it was my favorite, but I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that episode. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
I've had some people write into other YouTubers I follow calling it a filler episode. How is it a filler episode if it gave you so much fucking information?
I don't, yeah, that was hardly a filler episode. It gave you everything that we've all been trying to figure out and saying or not saying.
Exactly.
It gave you those things. Yeah.
Yeah, it made absolutely no sense. And the other thing is too, what I was trying to think of when somebody had said that, I was like, did we ever have a filler episode?
No, I don't know.
I mean, when we were doing our Mandalorian reviews, there were episodes, whether in season 1 or season 2, that we can be like, okay, that was definitely a filler. Because it didn't really do anything to progress the story. It was just there to like
Mhm.
kind of like fill, airtime.
Yeah.
But I can't say that in any episode. The one thing you can probably argue is that maybe the first 2 episodes, the black and white
I
episodes.
would say the first two episodes you could say if you're gonna say filler, but I don't
Yeah,
think they were filler, I think they were introductions into.
it was setups. Exactly. I wouldn't even use the word filler for that as well. But I'm saying if you had to absolutely take any episode or episodes in this in this series and name them filler, the closest you're going to get is maybe episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They were both dropped on the same day. They were more of a setup, and arguably things really didn't start picking up until the end of episode 3. But still, I honestly can't say, and you've even said this how many times we've come on, it feels like every week is your new favorite
Mhm.
because it is that good. And for an episode that gave us as much info as they did and revealed a couple of big things that people have speculated and rumored and, theorized for weeks on end, it finally came to fruition and we finally get our answers. So, with a couple of new questions now, but so overall, you thought it was a good episode. I did too.
Mhm.
The only thing that I had an issue with, and it finally happened where he snapped out of it, and Vision's like, why am I talking to you? I'm like, why aren't you fucking flying home?
Yeah. Yeah, that was hilarious.
But it was funny. It was, the interaction between him and Darcy was funny. I loved how she thought he was trying to pick her up.
Yeah.
Like what did she say? It's a hard no. What? Oh, I think that's going to be I forgot how she turns him down. And then like when he's more persistent, she's like, okay, fine, I'll go out with you, but I'm ordering the lobster.
Marting the lobster. Yeah. That was funny. I like
Uh,
that whole I think that in that episode their interaction was kind of one of my favorite things.
I
Yeah.
think if you put Darcy with anybody, the interaction is going to be pretty funny.
Absolutely.
You
She's
know?
just a really great character. I think her and Monica are really doing great things for the show.
Oh hell yeah! Especially after this episode.
Mhm.
Especially that we had talked about that in previous episodes. I mean, obviously the character Monica Rambeau uh, turns out to be. I mean, even in the comics, I mean, she was actually Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers was. But was she going to be Photon? What was she going to be Spectrum? Was she even going to get her powers? I felt that she wasn't going to get her powers probably at least until Captain Marvel 2, but we were going to get some breadcrumbs.
Mhm.
I didn't think she was gonna, and I still don't know if she knows how to use them yet. This is new to her, I mean, she stuck the superhero landing. She got that out of, she did that, but she didn't use them in defense against Wanda. So I'm wondering if it's going to take her a little while before she realizes A, that she has them, or B, what to do with them. So who knows if we're going to actually see whether it's going to be Photon or Spectrum by the end of this series. Maybe who knows? Maybe in the finale she actually helps kick ass.
I'm thinking because of the way the lights were, especially in her eyes, she's definitely Spectrum.
Yeah, I think it's almost confirmed she's going to be Spectrum, but who knows? Who knows if she throws a curveball? I mean, there were so many things that we thought were one way and they turned out to be another. But all right. So what I want to do, and then we'll go over some of your notes, is I did something a little differently this week, and I had told this to you before we went on. What I did, instead of writing the usual notes that I normally do, beat for beat in line with the show, I just basically broke it into two categories: what we got confirmed in this episode and what is still in question, whether it's older questions we have from previous episodes or newer questions that are now asked after this episode. All right, so we can obviously, Agnes was confirmed to be Agatha.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the biggest one.
Right.
And the other thing is too, a lot of people were questioning, where was her brooch? She didn't have it on earlier in this episode. It didn't appear until actually this scene where she comes into the basement. And in the Halloween episode, it wasn't there. Now, I went back an episode before that to the 80s one when she came in wearing her exercise gear. It wasn't on. But later on in that episode, when she comes into the house with the dog house, and when she's seen, another thing was confirmed about Sparky, when she's holding Sparky, she does still have the brooch on. It's just on her sweater, like near her breast. But I wanted to know, like, what is that brooch? I don't know if it's just a confirmation of who she is or if that does something for her powers. What do you think? Do you think that brooch contains something that she needs?
I'm not sure.
Because I don't know. Again, I really don't know anything about Agatha Harkness as far as the comics go. I just know that everybody was pointing out that she had a brooch from the first episode, and that's an Agatha Harkness thing. And then we finally get it that she is
I know the only thing is I know is that's a part of her
outfit.
just her outfit. I
Yeah.
didn't know it had anything to do with her. The only thing I know about Agatha with Wanda is she only comes to Wanda because she's in Wanda's storyline, she's been dead and she only comes to Wanda in like astral plane form. So I don't know how this works out in this storyline.
Yeah, well, a lot of people were saying that in the comics, she's not actually a real villain. That she was. I mean, she's been a babysitter. She's been a mentor for Wanda. It wasn't until like I don't know if it was the House of M, where they had the confrontation or something. I don't know what it was, but so that might also be, unless the Marvel, the MCU is going to change it.
That confrontation, it was because of what happened with Wanda's kids. She erased Wanda's kids from her memory, and then
Yeah.
somewhere along the line, she put them back in her memories. And when Wanda found that out, it was just assumed that Wanda killed her or something.
Got it.
Those lines. So I don't even know. And again, from what I remember, is I don't even know how she sees Agatha in human form because I always thought she came through Wanda in astral plane form. So I'm just a little confused about this whole storyline as well.
Well, again, it's easy. It's an easy thing to just say that the MCU is not going to go beat for beat for the comics, because they're probably changing it up. And again, as I said, she's not really a real villain, but she might be in this world that the MCU is setting up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or working with another somebody who's a little bit more powerful and bigger, which we might get, in the finale.
Right.
Another thing that was confirmed that I had said, she definitely killed Sparky.
She definitely killed
Sparky.
I
fucking knew it. I knew. I was like, that bitch killed Sparky. And then and it was just a funny, I mean, it's really not funny when you think of it.
She's like, oh, I killed Sparky.
Oh, and by the way, I killed Sparky. I thought that was funny. Again, not funny because she killed a dog, but it was definitely confirmed now that S.W.O.R.D. was trying to bring Vision back online.
Right.
But they couldn't, and they needed Wanda.
They used Wanda to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. They needed Wanda. They basically set a trap so Wanda would go get him. Another thing that was confirmed, I don't know if you noticed it, because it wasn't something that was said. It was something that you had to kind of pause and read yourself. It was actually confirmed that Hayward himself is the one that sent that email to Vision.
Oh, I did not know that.
The email that was read out loud by Norm and the rest of the people at work, and it said Darcy at the end, was actually a decoy email sent by Hayward to basically wake Vision up because he was trying to get Vision out of the bubble.
Oh.
That's why he's tracking Vision. He wants to draw him out. because he
Oh, well,
knows he can't go in.
that much I assumed. He's
Yeah,
tracking Vision to draw him out. Yes,
yeah.
I assumed that much.
So
Yes.
that email was actually sent out by Hayward. So when Jimmy is and Jimmy and Monica are driving in the car, and Jimmy's reading the email on his phone from Darcy when he says, "Oh, Darcy was able to get past the last firewall," and he was talking to her about the things that Darcy had
Mhm,
found out.
mhm,
That's when he said, "Oh, Hayward and or Sword was trying to bring Vision online, but they couldn't. They
mhm.
needed Wanda to do so."
Right.
And then Monica said, "Oh, so they're trying to get their sentient weapon back,
Yes.
which is Vision."
Yeah.
So that on the phone on that screen, if you pause it, it actually says at the bottom a decoy message that was sent out by Hayward.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Uh, Monica has her powers. That's confirmed now.
Yes.
And Wanda isn't in fully control.
Nope.
She definitely created the hex, which I'm still convinced. And if you go by Agatha's theme song that she does to the Munsters kind of theme, when it was Agatha all along,
Mhm.
she appears after the hex is made. Now, again, that's just a silly TV intro that she did, but it almost is like trying to tell us that Wanda created this, and then she came to Wanda, maybe pulling the strings a little bit more,
Yeah.
because Wanda might have just done Wanda's basis for this after getting Vision, after rescuing Vision from Sword and
Is
the
just
experiments. She probably brought him there to hide away.
a hideaway to keep him safe from all
Right.
of that. Yeah.
And then Agnes or whoever else is with with Agatha or Agnes. It's hard to now call Agatha, after been calling Agnes for the last 6 weeks. But so
I'm
it
kind
begs.
of wondering if she has ties with Haywood. You know what I mean?
That was another thing that people are possibly talking about. And they were even saying, is Hayward even Hayward? What did they say? Not a scroll. I don't think he's going to be a scroll. But my brother John said best episode yet. I know you liked it. We were just I was just talking to John about that yesterday. No, what did they say? He was going to remove his face and he was going to be somebody. It wasn't Red Skull. I forgot who it was. Anyway, they're saying that maybe Hayward's not who he seems.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much what I have in line. What's confirmed, and I hesitate to put some of the other things in that category because we still really don't know. And the top one is, who is Pietro? Does it confirm that he is actually not Quicksilver? Because because he was definitely in control, and that's another thing we're going to go over, John, is where the fuck is Ralph? And who's Ralph?
Who's Ralph? Well, I don't think he's Pietro now because she brought at the end it was permanent. She was pulling that string,
She was,
and
yeah.
in the teaser, look what he did. He had interactions with Monica, like Snooper's gonna snoop, So
Yeah.
I
No, I
think.
mean, he was definitely in control with by Agatha in that scene because they show you that.
Mhm.
But the thing that just still doesn't make any sense is if you're going to create a illusion or whatever it was or a manipulation, why use a different character? What was the point? Because that also, and a lot of people keep saying that when Pietro arrives, the horns, everything in the outside world were alarming because somebody entered the hex. Somebody was definitely pulled in. It
Mhm.
wasn't somebody in the town that Agnes is just controlling and trying to manipulate Wanda with and saying, "Oh, that's your brother." Somebody came in through the hex, so somebody was pulled in. So that's why it still kind of begs the question of, is he from another dimension, possibly, that maybe, that
Yeah.
it is the Fox's Quicksilver, and they're just trying to, that whole thing with Wanda saying, that is not your brother. No, I'm sorry, that is not your uncle. He is not who he says he is. So maybe that's one of those, look the other way because we want you to look that way. And then
Mhm.
it'll be another reveal. I don't know. The other big question, because everybody was waiting for this big cameo, who's the engineer? Who's the engineer? Are you convinced that Goodner was the actual engineer?
No, I don't think so.
I just, the way they were setting it up, unless we were just being, typical fans, like, oh, it's got to be somebody big, and we just did that to ourselves. But I just feel like I don't think that was the engineer. I think it was just a team that's working with the engineer.
Yeah, I think there's something bigger that's coming. I mean, they made such a big deal out of it. You know what I mean?
Quicksilver is dead. Maybe you can't bring the actor back. Sure, they can. I mean, technically, Vision's dead. They brought Vision back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's that case, and I'm sure Aaron Taylor, if that's it's Aaron Taylor Johnson, right?
Maybe there's a reason why they brought Peter back from that time. Was that his name is Peter, right?
Peter Evans.
Yeah, Peter.
Well, his name is Peter or Pietro, yeah.
But there's a reason why they brought Peter back and not Pietro, because Pietro died in that timeline. Peter didn't.
Right.
So I'm wondering if
she brought Vision back. That's right. He's saying Agnes can't bring somebody back who's dead.
Why can't Agnes bring somebody back who's dead? I think Agnes somehow became alive again in the comics. She was dead and she became alive again. So I'm wondering if she brought herself back.
Did I say Peter Evans? I meant Evan Peters.
Evan Peters, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, John. He corrected me. Evan Peters. Yeah, I still don't know why they brought in Evan Peters to be whatever. I mean, I think it's cool because he played Quicksilver in the Fox, universe, but I still don't know why they did that. But as far as Goodner goes, I still don't think she was the engineer. And the other thing that I thought was a cool theory that that a couple of people have online is that she's possibly. So if we go back to Captain Marvel, when Monica was a young girl and she was playing with the daughter of Talos and Soren, that it's possible that she might be the Skrull. And I know Goodner looks older. Goodner herself looks like she could be Maria Hill's age. I'm sorry, Maria Rambeau's age, but Maria Hill was what's her face? The girl from How I Met Your Mother.
What are you talking about? We're sticking in this timeline now.
Yeah, no, I know. I forgot. I accidentally said Maria Hill. I meant Monica Maria Rambeau. So I know she looks like she could be in line with her age, but if she's a Skrull, she can look like anything she wants. So I don't think the age thing has anything to do with it. But I really don't think she's the daughter of Talos. I don't think she's a Skrull. But I also don't think that she was the engineer.
No.
I think he's probably going to make the cameo. And that's going to be our cameo. If we are even going to get one, because everybody's just going off of what people said in interviews. We really don't know if we're going to even get one. But
everybody's trying to blow their load on their Emma Caulfield cameo as Emma Frost, which I do not think is happening.
No.
I do not think that is even a thing or a case, and I don't understand how that even went sideways or left. Because Emma Frost doesn't even work into the Wanda timeline. I mean, she has ties with Mephisto, so I don't understand where people are coming up with this.
Well, because people are just trying to take any little thing.
Yeah.
And be like, oh my God, look, that's that. It's got to be that, So
because she had like some ties with glass, I was like, how does that? What are you doing? Like, I don't even understand it.
Oh, because she cut her hand.
Cut her hand with glass.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh yes. Oh, that's got to be Emma Frost then.
It's Emma Frost.
What were some other questions? Is that the Darkhold? Is that book? Because they really don't confirm. They don't say anything about what the name of the book is, but everybody's saying it looks like the Darkhold from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, again, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. technically isn't canon in the MCU. Things are mentioned, but they don't really bring anything, out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and bring it into the MCU. But if you look at the covers, they're completely different. But it could be the MCU version of the Darkhold, which is synonymous with, Agatha Harkness. And I thought that was cool. And, if it's very dark in that room in the basement, but some other YouTubers on their channels, they lightened up the contrast where you can see other things, and you can see like animal heads, like demonic animal heads. You can see demon faces on the walls. It was actually pretty detailed. I really wish I could have seen that on my screen, but
so no one asked where'd the kids go?
That's the other thing that I had. That's the next question I have is where is Billy and Tommy? Mm-hmm. Did she change them into animals? Is that her thing? Because some people are rumoring, or not. I'm sorry, speculating or theorizing that Senior Scratchy is actually Nicholas Scratch, her son, because she has a son in the comics, Nicholas Scratch,
in the Fantastic Four series. Yeah.
So
think so. I think that again, these children were not real, or they were.
If they weren't real, then she still wouldn't have had conversations with them, and they wouldn't have been able to eat a sandwich.
Well, that could happen. I don't. I think they were projections. Like everything kind of projects in that world. You
I
know how
think
like
so too.
you
I
know
really,
like that whole Mephisto thing where they were like the projection thing, and he kind of probably absorbed them. I don't think that they're and Vision sees a projection of them.
yeah. Yeah, I think they definitely I because they're doing so much to show us from that storyline of House of M and stuff like that. I really feel like Mephisto's got to be tied into it. I mean, the only other person it could be is Nightmare, but that doesn't really align with the kids theme.
Mhm.
The storyline for the kids. So it's got to be Mephisto running the show or behind the scenes. And yeah, John, Monica Rambeau in the comics, she is a hero. Whether she uses her powers in the next two episodes to come, that's obviously we're gonna have to see if that happens. But she is,
Yeah, they're aligning her up to be in the second Captain Marvel.
yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna probably take the baton away from Danvers.
All right. What was my other quick question? I already talked about Billy and Tommy. Uh, John had already asked the question, where or who is Ralph? Because we still don't know that. Is that just somebody she's just making up? Is there no Ralph? Who knows? Who is Dottie? We still really don't even know who Dottie is.
Apparently, she's Emma Frost.
That's like, she looked very peculiar when she looked up, and she was very focused in on Monica and Wanda's conversation and or their altercation. She did make a weird face, but again, we really don't know. We were never really told who Dottie was.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then, of course, the last one is: will they ever say who the witness was? Was that just a plot line to start the show? Was there ever you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a little weird that, all right, I was here. Like, I'm talking about Jimmy. I was here investigating what happened to my witness that went missing, and nobody even knows who he is. Nobody even the people that his family and known associates don't even remember him. That's why I'm here. That's why I flew all the way from California to here to Jersey, and then they're just going to gloss over that, and now we're not going to get any answers to that. So that's why I really feel like that's not just a throwaway. I feel like maybe Ralph and the witness
I think
are
I think
hand in
Ralph
hand.
and the witness are one and the same, and
Yeah.
we're gonna find that out. I don't know. We got 2 episodes left. I don't
We
know.
do, and I think it's almost confirmed, but and heavily rumored or speculated that this next episode is probably going to be a flashback episode. It's not going to be in today's the events after Agatha put Wanda in that spell, whatever. I think we're going to get more of a build up to what happened, because in one of the promo trailers, I had said this a couple of weeks ago, from a few weeks ago, where before it was said that before Hayward showed that video footage of Wanda going to get Vision, I saw a promo to future episodes, and it showed a scene where Wanda was in this room, and it looked like nothing in that hex. It was just a weird scene, and it didn't make any sense until I saw that scene where she goes to get Vision, because in the background of that black and white video footage, I seen certain elements to that other scene. So I think we're going to see that altercation or that day where it all started. I think that's going to be the next episode, and then the finale will be them fighting for whoever they're fighting. Because remember, we also have that one scene that didn't happen yet, where Wanda says something to Vision, like they're trying to take over, they're trying to destroy our world, and Vision's like, well, let's defend it. And then you see Wanda flying away or flying up in her sweats, and Vision also flies to what looks like a burning car or something like that in the distance. So I think it's going to be the ultimate finale. Is going to be them fighting something, or something's going to happen in that regards. But I think next episode will probably most likely be somewhat of a context of how this all started.
Well, we still need. Well, there's definitely. I don't think they would like bring in a character like Dottie or mention a character Ralph and the Witness. So we still got to get those answers I think because they heavily stressed that.
Which could happen in the next episode, because if they are going to do a setup where it's a flashback, we might see who Ralph was or the witness was. We might see all that. I hope, and I really do hope that these last two episodes are at least 45 minutes and up.
And I was hoping that this one was a little longer, but it was like, what was it, 28 minutes, 30 minutes?
37 minutes with the credits, but we all know that those credits are almost 7 minutes. And then you got the recap from the previous episode. So, yeah, I think the episode itself was probably like around 28 or 29 minutes.
Yeah. I thought this was really, I really am liking these last two episodes because this one, like, what was it, like the Modern Family type of episode, and the last one was Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
I really like those setups, and I'm wondering if they're going to continue like doing that type of thing because it's really, really helping like the Olsen. She's acting phenomenally. Like,
Yeah, I loved her when she was doing her solo, when she was just talking to the camera, and she's like, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Like,
I don't know if we're going to get any more of that. I think we're beyond the sitcom, the sitcom setups. I think once we went past the 2010s, I don't see how they can do another thing or add to it. I really don't. And they took it was a culmination of all the shows that do the whole breaking the fourth wall thing. The Office, Parks and Rec, but there was more Modern Family focus. They even said that the intro had almost like that piano theme to The Office. I didn't know this because I never watched the show, but there was a show that was produced actually by the Russo brothers called Happy Endings, and that was the whole Wanda written in all these little things. They just used a whole bunch of things to show Wanda in the intro. That was a Happy Endings, nod. So I didn't know that because I just
thought that was really great. I thought her acting was just impeccable. And even Bettany, I was just like, wow. Like when he was sitting there talking to the camera, and Catherine Hahn, she was just like, I remember when I was writing, I was like, she's just fantastic.
I love her. I mean, I've said this even before the show started. I love Catherine Hahn. I really do.
Yeah. She's fantastic. But then at the end, I was just like, oh my God, she's just fantastic. Fantastic.
When she was like, I won't bite. And then she's like, I bit a kid once. I actually, so did you see the reveal coming? Like, I want to basically ask you, when did you see that reveal coming that she was going to come out to be Agatha?
I really didn't think it was going to be like this in this episode where they set it up like this.
So what made it more prevalent for me that it was about to happen was, I mean, it was spooky as fuck when they were in that house. Let me just tell you that. It really was. Something just seemed off. But what made it for me is when, hold on a second.
So yeah, I think I know what you're asking. So I didn't think it was going to happen in this episode until the second that the kids went to her house, because that has never happened.
Right.
We have never seen her house, been into her house, knew that her house kind of existed. And when the kids went to her house, I was like, okay, something's up.
Well, another really cool Easter egg is that the exterior to Agnes's house is actually the Bewitched house. I didn't know that.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the exterior to Agnes's house is actually the Bewitched house. No, what I was going to say is that which one has which kid has, which one is Wiccan?
Tommy is Speed. So
okay. Billy. When she's talking to the kids and Billy says, I like it here. It's quiet. You're quiet.
Yes.
I was like, okay, she's Agatha.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. She doesn't, either she's got a defense up or it's because she doesn't have a trapped inner self like everybody else does. That's why he hears all these voices, because everybody inside, the people, the people that are stuck and trapped inside are trying to communicate or trying to talk because they're trapped.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too, when he says, I have all these different voices, that's because his mother just fucking, enhanced the hex and has got more people in there now. And I think that's why she's also losing a little bit more control, is because it's spread out. She's spread out. Basically, it's the, what is it? The term when you're too spread out. She's really fucking spread out. That's why she's losing control, I think. And also too, things aren't going away. I mean, where's Vision? And she didn't even seem to care. I love that. She's like, when she's like, you know what? And I just don't care. And then that's when Agnes is looking at her like, okay, I think I'm going to take the kids.
Yeah, I thought it was also great, like, the parts where, like, Vision's like, "She's trying to stop me from getting home," and, like, all this shit keeps happening,
Yeah.
like, traffic light and everything. Yeah, that was a cool thing.
Well, yeah, and I know, John, there was so many things, the devil's in the details. Where does she say? No, I think no, no, no. So Dottie says the devil's in the details. And then Agnes says all that's not all where he is or something like that. That's the comment that she actually makes.
We all knew
We
she was
knew.
Agatha, but where the confirmation is where it was, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we pretty much knew. But the other thing is too, and I had said this how many times, are they really gonna be that blunt about it? Is that the route that they're gonna go? Is like, all right, give you all these hints and then it actually turn out to be true, or are they trying to throw us a curve?
Mhm.
And have it where Dottie's actually Agatha. I could have seen them do that because it was just way too focused. And the same thing could be said about Hayward. Are they really putting all their cards on the table and labeling Hayward as the villain, or I shouldn't say the villain, or just a bad guy, or are they just trying to, point you in that direction as a misdirection?
Yeah.
But so yeah, I thought this episode was really good.
Mhm.
It does answer, and that's what I loved about it too, is because it really does answer so many fucking questions, and that big reveal was just so cool. And also too, on the second viewing, when I went to rewatch it, and you watch the episode for the first time, and when she's got that when she's breaking the fourth wall and she's talking to the camera, and the camera person says, "Well, do you think that you deserve this, or don't you think you deserved it?" And then she's like, "Wait, you're not supposed to talk."
Yeah.
When you go back and watch it a second time,
Where's
you
that?
know that that's Catherine Hahn.
It's Catherine Hall. Yeah.
It's just that her voice was either disguised or slowed down. But yeah, that was easily Catherine Hahn.
Yeah.
Now, what'd you think of when everything was glitching and she's going through the kitchen and she pulls out the almond milk, she has it on the counter. There's actually, and you can't really even hear it. I don't know how these people on YouTube fucking heard it, but there's a radio broadcast being played while she's doing the things in the kitchen, and the name of the radio station is WNDA, Wanda. And they're just talking about how, like, oh, it was good to see the kids out. It was good to see those ghosts out and about. Even if it is only once a year or something like that. Now, I don't think that means that the kids are only around once a year. I think it's just the Halloween. But so when the milk phases and glitches, and it goes to the '80s style milk carton with the missing children thing, the missing child thing on the back. Do you think it was more of a nod to that '80s style milk carton, or is it playing into the leaked photo sets, the leaked set photos? I'm sorry, of Spider-Man 3 with missing children posters on the wall?
I didn't give that much thought. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the other thing is I don't know if that's just I think I just took it as at the time.
Yeah, I just thought it was a nod to the milk carton because that's how our milk cartons looked back then.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
I
I
remember.
didn't give that one much thought like that.
Yeah, but that is a thing where people are saying that maybe Agatha is doing something with the children. We might think that she's the one that's doing stuff with the kids,
Hmm.
but and they might have needed Wanda to have. And we've said this before. They might have needed Wanda to give birth to these two children for Mephisto. Mephisto might be feeding off the souls of the children.
We don't know. We don't know what route they're going.
Yeah, I know.
Every time you think something, it's like, "Er," you
Yeah,
know.
I mean the only constant thing that we've all had inclinations of is Agatha.
Yeah, yeah.
And we finally get that reveal. Now, what do you think that other thing was at well, just really quick, the end credit scene. Now we finally got one. 7 minutes worth of credits. It finally pays off to stay a little longer. Monica's looking. She finally gets to. Not finally gets to. I guess after they go in the house, she goes over and she's snooping and she opens up the cellar doors and she looks around and then all of a sudden Pietro, wherever he is, comes up from behind and just says, "Snooper's going to snoop." So
I don't know what to
again,
take on that.
like who the fuck is he?
I don't know. I have no take on that. I was just like, that's just a really cool scene. I hope that gets explained or explored because I don't really have a take on that.
Well,
I don't know who that guy is.
The other weird thing is when Monica's powers was generating, when they were being used or whatever, her eyes were glowing blue.
Mm-hmm.
When she turned, they were purple. Now, I don't think that means I do not think that means Agatha has a hold on her.
Mm-mm.
But it was just very curious to know why it was purple at that moment.
Don't know.
So that was just a little weird. I don't know. And, a lot of people were convinced that Pietro wasn't even going to be in these episodes now because he was, exposed for who he was. Other people are actually saying that he might be Nicholas Scratch. He might be Agnes's son.
Wow, some of these theories are really
A lot of theories. There are a lot of fucking theories. I do hope, look, if anything, I do hope we get a little bit more answers to the origins and, the start and the whole setup to how everything started, I should say, next episode. And I really do, because I want answers. I want to know who Ralph is. If he is, everybody wants to know who the fuck Ralph is. I hope it's a cool reveal. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be Deadpool. It makes no sense, but imagine just it's Deadpool.
You're like dead set on somebody in this like New Jersey town being Deadpool.
It would just be really cool for just a silly cameo for Deadpool. It doesn't have to have anything to do with the story. You're just walking through. It's just Deadpool. Oh, we didn't go over so here's the other thing. So let's go over your theory really quick. And other people's theory. It's not just you, because a lot of people are talking about this, and it wasn't until you mentioned it did I even think of it, because I had no idea. I just took the commercials that have been shown in the middle of each episode as traumatic experiences in the past for Wanda. Now, a lot of people are theorizing, including you, that each commercial represents an Infinity Stone. And, there was a couple of ways that people were what do you call it? What's the word? When you, I can't think of the word now. But anyway, so a lot of people had different versions of this, where the toaster was the Power Stone, which is what you said. And another website had said that too. But then they changed it a little bit, and it said, oh, it's possible that the toaster was the Mind Stone, because it kind of...
Some people, from what I'm gathering, is some people are going by the way the stones look to the way the commercials look. I'm actually going by the metaphors.
Yeah, no, I think that's the best way to do it. And then, again, in the black and white episodes, there's no way you can put those, oh, that looks like whatever. The only thing that did make sense, though, is when somebody was trying to explain, that was the word I was looking for, interpretation. But when somebody was trying to explain the whole toaster thing is, the fact that Vision was actually called a toaster in the comics. It does kind of look like a face. And, there was something in the middle, which kind of resembles the Mind Stone in Vision's forehead. So that's why they went that route of possibly that and that's only if these commercials are referencing the Infinity Stones, that would probably be the Mind Stone. But it still doesn't, for me, I still don't see it. I really just take it as it's possibly just looking at, the past traumatic experiences, but then also
traumatic experiences, without a doubt. They
and then
absolutely do
and
that.
The next commercial. Now, how do you explain the Nexus commercial?
So I don't really know the Nexus commercial in a trauma in her life. So I didn't really look that up or have.
No, it's not. It's definitely not a trauma, but it's made to signify something completely different, which is more along the reality realm.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So if it was going to be any stone, if that was a reference to any stone, it would be reality.
Oh, reality, because I got Mind Stone. Because if they were talking about the metaphor of what the commercial represents, which was depression and all that, what's going on in somebody's mind, I got that as Mind Stone, because that would actually make sense with the last stone.
Yeah.
These commercials and these metaphors.
If the Power Stone was the toaster.
If the Power Stone
was
the toaster. So.
But Nexus, yes, John, Nexus was a framework from S.H.I.E.L.D. Nexus was also talked about in Age of Ultron. But that's where Jarvis was, and that's how Ultron kind of, I forgot what it was, but
And that's why I couldn't place that as a trauma in her life. I was like, wait, I
right.
don't
It's
understand
not. It's this one is completely different. This one is just basically saying, so I think it's trying to signify, and the word reality is said a couple times in the commercial too. That's why it signifies with reality, because Nexus. So Wanda is considered a Nexus being. She is a person that could rewrite and actually pull people from different dimensions, with her being the one constant. So if there was let's say there's 5 or 6 dimensions where other things are coming from, she would be the only constant because she is a Nexus being. She can be part of all different dimensions, but she will never change. But she is a being because a Nexus being she wins exactly what she's doing. She's rewriting stuff to her liking. And that's why at the end where it says the world doesn't center around you, or does it? Because she is a Nexus being. So I think they're just setting that up. There's also something in the comics called the Nexus of all realities, and that's just all the different dimensions. And there's other Nexus beings. I forgot who was named as a Nexus being. She's not the only one, but she is one of them. So I think that's why I'm leaning more towards that. The older commercials were more about her traumatic experiences in the past, and this one is setting up her being a Nexus being.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole doctor thing, I still took it as, and other people did too, it was a Doctor Strange reference. Check with your doctor if you're cleared before you take this. And I really feel like it's possible we might be getting Doctor Strange in this series.
I honestly think if we do get a big cameo, and I did when that commercial did came on, the doctor there, I was like, I thought that was a Doctor Strange reference. I really did.
Yeah.
I said if we do get any type of cameo, it would probably be Doctor Strange, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. It's just the only one that makes sense.
The only one that would make sense in any of this, and the movie's getting set up and everything. It's the only one that makes sense. Like, to be completely honest with you. So if that happens, I would not be surprised at this point.
Now, is it going to be a type of cameo like Luke Skywalker, where I'm like, I'm screaming at the TV? No, of course not. But for the sake of the story, and for the sake, for it just to make sense,
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange is the only one that I can see happening.
Yes.
Well, and Reed Richards.
and Reed Richards.
But those are the only 2 plausible ones.
Yeah.
Would I love to see Michael Fassbender or Ian McKellen as Magneto, or Patrick Stewart or James McAvoy as Professor X? Of course I would. But those would be more Easter eggs. Those would be more, just maybe not even like tie-ins. They wouldn't really they wouldn't have anything to do with the story.
Yeah. Now there's too many Fantastic Four things going on and too many parallels to the new movie coming up. It would either be Reed Richards or Doctor Strange. I just think that these are the 2 cameos we're going to get, and that's it.
Now I saw that, and here's the other thing too. If they're already starting to cast, that might mean something big. I saw a report, and I'm going to have to look it up because but it came from a guy that supposedly knows a lot of things, and he's been right about a lot of theories. Jennifer Lawrence has been casted in Fantastic Four. That's what I heard. Now, I don't know what she's going to play. I really can't see her as a Sue Storm, but who knows? But apparently, or supposedly, Jennifer Lawrence has been casted for Fantastic Four. So if they're already starting to cast,
how would that make sense?
I don't know. I don't think it's true. I don't.
Like, honestly, that one makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's true. But if they are starting to cast, then that could mean that they have their lead in Mr. Fantastic. And it doesn't necessarily have to be John Krasinski. I wanted it to. Everybody wanted it to. But, if they get a guy, it doesn't really...
I wanted to be John Krasinski so bad. But
I know.
When I heard it was going to be John Krasinski, yeah. I heard that Sue was going to be his wife.
Yeah. Yeah. They were going to have him and Emily Blunt. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, they don't have to do. It's cool. I mean, she's a great actress, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they have to do that. And I don't think that, again, if they show, let's say they don't cast John Krasinski and it's just somebody else that we don't know about, give Marvel the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure they know what they're doing, and I'm sure it'll be good either way. It's got to be better than that 2005 Fantastic Four, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
Or
Yeah.
2000, actually, no, 2005 was a little bit better than 2007's Rise of Silver Surfer.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four that's been out. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the most recent one. I'm not.
With the one with one of the Mara sisters.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
which sucks because I love Kate Mara. I told you that, but
I love Mara.
I
I love
didn't.
Rooney. I love Rooney more, but don't
Yeah,
get
I didn't like Kate Mara as Sue Storm. I didn't.
me.
I wasn't crazy about that. And all right, but that's our show. We're 45 minutes in, but I look. This episode was, as I said, it gave us so much that we needed as far as answers. Gave us a little bit more questions, but again, we only got 2 more episodes. My only hope is not only do we get the answers that we're seeking, but these next 2 episodes are just a little bit more lengthy.
Yeah.
And that's it. But yeah, and that's true, John, too. And that also not only for Loki, for Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't know, and I said this briefly in my trailer reactions. I didn't really know what to expect from either of these series. WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Hawkeye's getting his own show. I didn't know what to expect from any of these series, and it wasn't until we saw WandaVision, and week for week we're talking about it. It's such a great show. It's so unique in how they did it with sitcoms. I don't know if that's going to be, because it's so high of a benchmark, is that going to doom the other shows? Because like it's a hard act to follow, basically.
Yeah.
But I after seeing the latest trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier, I love Anthony Mackie's and Sebastian Stan's chemistry. I love the way they are on screen. I love their characters in Bucky and Falcon, and some cool.
The only thing I really do hope with Falcon and Winter Soldier is that Falcon reins back on his one-liners, because he tends to.
He does.
One-liners that just.
I feel like a lot of Marvel. I feel like that's an MCU thing, though. I think I feel like they do that with a lot of characters where they have way too many one-liners. But I agree.
Some characters go a little bit overboard, like Falcon can go a little bit overboard, and I'm just like, just rein it back a little bit, because I really love his character.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too. And I think if this is any indication of how Marvel is going to handle their Disney Plus series, I think they're going to be good. And I am looking forward to Loki, because that's another thing I think this is going to tie into is with Loki, because Loki, he's going to be in with the different dimensions. The TVA is actually a part of that. There's even a little bit of it looked like Mephisto in one of the scenes. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? And we may not even get. So the other thing is too, really quick, is we may not get Mephisto in this series. He may get mentioned. We may even maybe briefly see him. But we don't know if this series is going to end with an absolute conclusion. It may take Spider-Man 3 and even Doctor Strange 2 to conclude this series. So I wouldn't be surprised. Now, don't get me wrong. It would be kind of like having blue balls if you're going to end the series and not give us any answers. But it might be where they have, okay, this is it, or it might end in a cliffhanger or some type of cliffhanger-ish kind of thing.
What would really chat my ass is we get everything into the point, and Doctor Strange just comes up at the end and does this little swirly circles, and it just ends.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen. I really don't. I really don't. And everybody was saying that too, that they don't want the typical superhero, lolly lolly da kind of ending. They were hoping that Wanda was going to just become the villain and she was going to be the Scarlet Witch. So we might still get that. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if her kids get killed, which is looking like what they're setting up for.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Katie, thank you for joining me on this episode. I appreciate it. I can't wait. I look forward to next week where we do episode 8. And that's that. Guys, please do us a favor. If you like the stream, just give us a quick smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And, of course, hit that notification bell for just to get notified when we're about to go live. And that's it. We do more live streams than anything.
John.
What?
I was saying bye to John.
I think he left. But, yes, John. John, thank you. I do want to thank John really quick for coming on and, giving us some good questions, giving us some good feedback. I appreciate that all the time. All right, guys, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will see you next week for episode 8 of WandaVision's reaction on Talk Soup.
Have a good one.
Bye, Kitty.
Bye.